Ooh, what's happening, man? Um, so I want to wait and see if some people show up. I'm gonna talk about some random shit for a couple minutes. I think what I'm gonna start doing for YouTube is if I can narrow it down like this, I'm gonna start like putting when I start talking about topics, whatever the topic is that is associated with the title or whatever. Maybe. I don't fucking know, dude. I'm trying to help y'all out, but I don't think I can because people just have short attention spans. And I can't help with that. What was really cool though, I got a comment earlier that was like, this is like the second one that was like, hey, I actually listened all the way through, and it's basically saying like I enjoyed it, and it was another person with ADHD or ADHD. Um, I don't, I don't believe in that anymore. I regret taking that medication. Um, I think we're being anytime one of us shows gifts, I think we're being corralled into dulling those gifts, and um, you know, we're already kind of not maxing ourselves out, but like we're already expelling and using, not expelling, we're using energy to fight all these poisons that are constants in this existence. Um, I find myself like wondering if it's always been like that, and we just weren't aware. Um, anyway, that's an interesting fucking thought. Anyway, so she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna try to kind of push myself to listen to things all the way through," which is cool. I mean, I definitely I suggest that. I co-sign it. It really helped me to discover a lot of things and a lot of things about myself too. Like, um, I think everyone has different versions of. I don't even want to call it different versions. Like, we're just all different. We have different gifts, and they present in different ways. Sometimes we meet or find other people that have similar or the same, you know. But I think stifling it is like status quo within this place. And I don't think that's by mistake. I don't think it even has to do with money. I think one of the kind of facades that we have up against us is that once we do find out some of this weird shit that's going on, we assume instantly, unless you're somebody that watches videos like this and pays attention to shit like this, when a regular person, when a normie, I don't like that term. When a regular person finds out shit like, you know, that they don't want to know about, some nefarious shit, rather than hearing out somebody that is well versed in it or pays attention to it like you or me, they it's like their brain instantly constructs quickly too, as quick as possible, the most logical thing to explain it. And so when it comes to, and this has been happening a lot for me lately, and you guys too, because you've been telling me, like, a lot with family. No one's really said anything about coworkers, or I think one or two people said something about friends, but mostly family. People have been having lots of issues with, like, we can't stop talking, like we can't turn it off. And it's not to say we're like non-stop talking, but we hear shit and we're like, oh, that's because blah 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 blah. And to us it's like, yeah, we know that because we either just know it, or we studied it or researched it or whatever. And regular people, they don't know it, they don't want to hear it, and sometimes it freaks them out, sometimes it scares them, sometimes it makes them angry, like, which I think one of the issues that a lot of us probably deal with, definitely for me, is that I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help your scary ass. You know what I mean? Like, if you know about it, you can do something about it, is my position. If you are aware of it, you can avoid it. If you prepare for it, then you'll be prepared. Like, there's a logic that goes to it. And I'm not even going to call it like an alternate or divergent logic. That's just logic. It's not even weird. Like, that's not a strange or occult or conspiracy or any of that shit. That's just logic. Avoiding things doesn't solve them ever. Or not ever. Every once in a while, avoiding something is like the best thing you can fucking do. But mostly not, though. Most of the time, you need to deal with that shit. Information is power. Knowledge is power. And, I think that it is comforting for a lot of us to hear others say, like, yeah, I've been fucking going through it with my family too. And I think it's cool to see, not cool, it's encouraging, it's comforting to see, those of us that are kind of showing up in the beginnings of, whatever this is, starting to speak up and feel comfortable and be like, oh shit, so my situation's not that weird. And that's to be expected, because the beings around you are making you feel uncomfortable when you're yourself. When you are just being yourself, they're making you feel uncomfortable. They're threatening you, whether it be outright or, like passive aggressively or super manipulatively. We all have different beings around us. So, but the trend remains the same, that a lot of us seem to be like dealing with this weird situation. And I've noticed a lot of like influencers and a lot of it is aspiring influencers, like even the ones that, I'm not trying to measure anybody's success, but and an influencer is just a word. It's a mouth noise. So I guess what I'm really saying is it's an archetype. I'm not saying how many followers they have or whatever cult they're building or whatever. They use specific language. Like the phenomena that I'm kind of talking about right now, I just think it's natural for beings like us going in the direction that we're going, and not shying away from things, and being comfortable talking about things and being yourself. Those other beings are not. And that, I don't need to come up with a name for that, but the influencer people that are trying to use like specific bonding language, I'll call it, which I don't even know if that's a term, but it makes sense to me, or brainwashing language even. They'll say shit like, oh, that's just the shift, and these are the people that push that kind of love and light, everything's okay, just all you need is love. Which I agree, love is like one of the most powerful weapons, tools, traits, everything that you can have, but that's not all that exists. It's dumb for a person to say that and the other person to accept it. To me, that's the same concept that I kind of talked about my grandpa teaching me about. If you argue with an idiot and someone walks by, they just see two idiots arguing. So if this influencer or aspiring influencer says all these like goofy terms and somehow tricks this person into this weird like skewed version of reality, which is no better than the Matrix type simulation shit that they're already in, it's actually worse. because now you're like sinking further into it. I'm not gonna fuck with that, because it's like what can happen sometimes when you try to save an abused person, or like someone that has Stockholm syndrome. Like, they might attack you, not necessarily physically, but maybe even that. You know what I mean? Maybe they like that shit. Some people, it's various degrees too, like they feel like that's the best option they have to figure their shit out, or they like that. They know what it is, but they like it. They just like this person so much that they want to, like, for real, be their follower. Like, you're starting a cult, I'm there, bro. That type shit. I don't know. I just, even with things being so, like, threatening and up in the air right now, speaking personally, something in me is different to the point where it's like, you know what? Nope. Not this time. Nope. And the extremes that I'm willing to go to, got a bite up here, huh? The extremes that I'm willing to go to stay true to that are much more intense than I think, beings are willing, not even willing to, or are thinking that they are. And I mean that, So if I, like, end up with much different circumstances, okay, that's happened before, and I'll figure that out, I will figure that out just like I have many times before. So if I start doing these and my background is just outside, you know what that is. It's fine. Man, I'm really trying to not do this, but right before I started this, I was uploading a reel of a drummer who I really like. Dude's chops are fucking crazy, sick. If I sat back on a drum set right now, it'd take me years, probably. No, it'd take me a while to get to where he's at currently. Anyway, as I'm waiting on the reel to upload, I've noticed if I do stuff, it'll make the reel upload faster, so I'm going through reels, right? And I won't say it's one of the influencer type people that I just spoke about, but it might as well be, because I really do feel like there's mostly LARPing going on. And they can do it in different ways. Like, if you're a decent writer, whether you consider yourself to be a writer or not, if you can come up with a good story, which liars do that, sidebar, if you're a liar, just try to write books or something. Try to write stories, or, create things, and maybe then you won't feel the need to do that to other people so much. Anyway, she tells this story talking about astral realms and all kinds of stuff, and again, I don't like assuming that you know stuff about me, because you may not know shit about me. I am not saying I don't believe in astral travel. I'm not saying I don't believe in astral realms or other dimensions, or, clairvoyance, or the ability to see displaced beings, souls. I'm not saying I don't believe in any of that shit. What I'm saying is, when I hear a person speak, I get this feeling. I don't know. It's not just a feeling too. Like, I can look at them and see, and I can hear. It's very hard to explain, but I just know. I know if you're telling the truth or not, And most times when people start telling these stories about being in the astrals and all this other shit, I'm like, all right, dude, just whatever. You know, not trying to be a hater, but then again, I am though, because fuck you for doing that to people. Most of the time, they ask for money. If you don't ask for money and you do that, you're just like, I don't know, LARPing, or you're doing like a art project or something. That's kind of cool, actually. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Think pieces. That's fine to me. If you're not asking for money vigorously, then that's not a big deal to me. But most of the time, that's not the case. And she's telling this story about how like her uncle was murdered a year ago. It was very those true crime channels on YouTube. Felt like that. Felt like listening to one of those, but like someone making it up, like a SCP video or a creepypasta or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that part doesn't even matter. What she talked about doesn't matter. I just wanted you to get an idea of what kind of person this is. It's a person I wouldn't really go out of my way to hang out with, because there's like a lot of narcissism and, just that. I really don't like narcissists, and that's become very prevalent for me lately. I've really, that's become very pronounced. My dislike and loathing of narcissists. And there are different types. There are some that probably it wouldn't bother me, but most of them lean more toward what I'm thinking of when I say that, which affects other people. If you're a narcissist and it doesn't affect anyone, okay, that's probably actually not that bad of a thing. That's like self-love, right? Isn't that like just another way to say that? Anyway, so I go to the comments, right? Because I'm like, do other people see what I'm seeing? Like, can people see what I'm seeing, or am I just like weird or whatever? Or can they hear it? Can they see it? Anything. And the comments are not what I expected. No matter how many times I see this, I don't expect it, because it's so weird and creepy. And I think I keep washing it from my brain, because I don't want to go out and just know that there are people walking around all around me that are like this. When I call people cults, like, I used to feel like bad about it, but the more that moments progress, I'm not wrong. When especially when it comes to like very large Abrahamic religions, not splitting denominations, just the Abrahamic religions, all of them, for the most part. They're doing weird shit. It rained today, so my head hurts. I've got this weird mucus stuff. Go watch the Smart Dust video. Or, the train derailments. That shit happened too. Leaked a bunch of stuff into the water. These are things people don't think about, and I do constantly. That water is not clean. They didn't clean it. It evaporates into the atmosphere and then rains back down on us, and then they spray shit up there too. So prepare for, anyway, fuck. I apologize, man. I don't, though. My brain's going a million miles a minute. I'll let you know that, but I take back that apology because I don't mean it. This is how my brain works. Welcome. The Christians, I feel like sometimes it seems like I'm attacking just Christians. That's why I qualify and say like all the Abrahamic religions, but if I'm being real, if I'm being honest, I haven't seen any Muslims attacking people in comments at all. Not that I'm aware of, anyway. It's usually people talking about Yeshua or Yahashua or Yahweh, or it's all the same nigga. Like, and he doesn't like you. He don't like you. He doesn't care about you. He's very likely like laughing as you're doing this. But they like attack people in comments. And I know that that might sound like, oh, so who cares? It's not that big a deal. People kill themselves from cyberbullying. Like, think about how ingrained and not ingrained. Yeah, think about how ingrained technology is within our everyday life at this point. Like, even if you're trying to stay away from, social media, social media proper, I'll call it. YouTube is social media. If you leave comments, it's social. They're starting to put comments on things that don't even necessarily make that much sense. Reviews, that makes that social media. So if you have an Amazon store or an Etsy shop or any of those apps, Craigslist, social media, like, and just because you don't use a specific app in a certain way or whatever, other people don't think like that. Everyone thinks differently. Some people, I'm sure, jump on Craigslist and just harass people. And I gotta, to return it back to what I'm trying to say, like, it really seems like Christians are terrorists in this regard. It's personally happened to me more than once, but also I'll come across like a thread of just horror and just be sitting there like, what the fuck? Why is this so important to you? It's so weird. Anyway, but I mean, my thing, I was looking to see if anyone was going to be like, all right, well, it kind of seems like you're making this shit up just to get views or likes or whatever. Or to direct traffic to your cold readings or tarot readings or whatever, But even still, I don't think that weird ganging up on people in comments, it's very creepy. And if you are that faith, or if you have that belief system, you're actively going against it. Whatever iteration of Zeus or El or Enlil, Satan, whatever you want to call him, Yahweh, Yeshua, that's not Jesus. That's not Jesus. It's an edited version of Jesus that is no longer Jesus. I believe my research is bringing me to the reality that Jesus was an alchemist, hermeticist that was chosen to spread Christ consciousness, to teach Christ consciousness. And at some point, probably around the time that whatever happened to us, the book was written that took this story that's been told by many cultures and changed it a lot and added weird shit and took out good shit, so that now your people act like this and like attack people in real life, in public. You picket people, like picket signs. Just very disturbing shit. Anyway, let's get the fuck off that. So, I wanted to talk about some philosophy stuff. That was too much digression. I might stop this. Maybe I should do that. That's maybe not a bad idea. Get all the, digression out at the tippy top, and then in the live, and then I have 2 separate videos. I hate editing. I hate it. So if I can do it like that, and I don't have to edit, that's pretty sick. Right? I'm gonna do that. Bye.